Hi, everyone. I want to welcome our guest speaker tonight, Gavin McGregor Skinner, to our show. And Gavin's been on before, and I really enjoy when he's here as a speaker. And when we ask him questions, we get a lot of information back. Gavin is a talker. I think we can go that way. And it's a tremendous amount of info that he comes across with. So we've had a lot of very positive responses from our membership in the past when he's been on. So I want to bring Gavin in, have you say a quick hello. And Gavin, you are the Senior Director of GBAC, which is the division of ISSA. Can you at least tell us exactly what that is so we know going forward what we're doing here?
Yeah. Sure can, Lance. Hi, everyone. So the GBAC, the Global Biorisk Advisory Council, is a division of ISSA. We have an accreditation program, which is based on 20 elements. It's very comprehensive, very holistic in its approach in not just setting up a yes or no or a pass or fail type program. The program that we have out, which is called our GBAC Star program, for both facilities and also, anyone who works in the cleaning industry, is about professional improvement. So continuous professional improvement. So once we get a baseline, we work with facilities, we work with companies, we work with individuals on developing then a plan on how to improve over time that's realistic and doable.
My understanding is that's dealing with larger projects. I mean, I'm sure you do small ones too, but we're talking airports, hospitals, colleges, things like that.
Oh, we are, Lance. And what's fascinating for me, sort of as an infectious disease expert, I worked for the US government as an epidemiologist, which is like a disease detective, being able to do a very deep dive, understand how is an airport, a convention center, how is a hotel, for example, even a school, cleaned in a way that creates an environment that protects human health has been fascinating. And to really, what our GBAC Star program with the 20 elements does is that deep dive in understanding what are your protocols, procedures, what equipment are you using, how can we help you with to do it better, save money. I know time is our biggest risk factor when it comes to cleaning anything that's in the built environment. So being able to do a really thorough deep dive analysis and work with these organizations like these airports, convention centers, and hotels has been absolutely fascinating. I've learned so much.
I've talked with you before about this, and I think in one of our previous interviews, you had alluded to this also, that these larger facilities actually are almost like a living entity unto themselves. They have their own personalities, they have their own specific problems, where an airport may have a problem because of the type of flights they have compared to a hospital that is expanded over 8, 10, 12 city blocks. I mean, can you touch a little bit about some of the specific issues on a few of these?
Yes, Lance, the size of an airport, a convention center, even the size of the hotels that we work with, the size of the schools. When you map it out by square footage, it's enormous. But when you map it out by users of that built environment, so that's both the workers, the employees, as well as the people that come in and out of those buildings on a daily basis, we're looking at some really significant, big numbers, which leads to risk. And for me to sit down and work with an airport, a convention center, a hotel, or a school, and go, right, how many people come into your indoor space every day? And I get a number. How many people work in your indoor space every day? Okay, how many of those areas within that environment, that built environment, are maybe reservoirs or risk or hazards for infectious diseases, for germs to thrive and survive? And we map that out on a floor plan. And by looking at that, we're looking at some really big issues here when it comes to, okay, so we know everyone wants to come into an airport, a hotel, convention center, and go, oh, look, it smells clean, it looks clean, it's clean for appearance. But what we really want to do is change that paradigm, help these organizations to understand that they can clean for health, and they can then market what they're doing by what they do by their processes and their operations, that they're actually protecting human health. And that's protecting human health of any user, not just the employees, but also the users. Anyone that comes into that environment should feel safe and confident.
We make a distinction when we talk with our members, or we teach classes, that we don't fix people, we fix buildings. But I think the side effect of fixing the buildings is what helps fix people.
It does, Lance, and I think what we've seen, and I like the conversations where that Normie's been having with many of their stakeholders, as well as with ISSA and with the GBAC team, is how do we create a workforce development program that will focus on cleaning for health as a sustainable part of the industry that we do every day. It's what we're responsible for. It's going to be what what we're going to be measured against is cleaning for health and ensuring that every cleaning professional, the challenge we have in the cleaning industry is that there are many people within the industry that have many different terms of what they do or how they do it. But let's create a big umbrella that if you work in the cleaning industry, you're an essential cleaning professional. And how do we work towards a workforce development program that provides the necessary, I suppose, knowledge, skills, and abilities so that everyone understands what the hazards are, they can identify risk, but then they understand what needs to be cleaned and disinfected. And then most importantly, Lance, how often they need to do that. And that's still the question that we get at ISSA, especially through the GBAC team from so many service providers as well as facilities. How often should I be doing it? And that's something we really want to correct as we move into 2023. Get those training programs out there, get that education material out there that focuses on how often, and more importantly, again, it goes back to what you're doing, is it best for the environment, and is it the best that you're focusing on sort of science evidence-based procedures for cleaning for health, and can you tell that cleaning story? And that's so important. We want everyone by the end of 2023 be able to tell their cleaning story and justify what they do and how they do it, and that's going to lead to more business opportunities.
You know, I've heard you use the term built environment.